Thank you for joining the Amplify Leader. Our conversation really is not simply about the companies. Today, what I want to understand is how young entrepreneur like yourself decide to tackle one of the world's biggest infrastructure problems and what it really takes to build a hard tech company energy from the ground up. More importantly, though, we'd like to really understand how you think. I've gone to your website. I've looked at it seems to be a unique proposition, developing these station in the middle of nowhere being powered by the solar energy. So it's about you. It's going to be about your business, how you acquire your clients as well. So people meeting you for the first time, who is Kirtan?
Yeah, I think that everybody's goal in life is to find out who they are and be who they are. But today, if I had to describe myself, I'm a very passionate entrepreneur. I enjoy spending time with my friends, and I want to build something that is both equitable for humanity, and also something that obviously is a profitable company. I chose energy because it's something that everyone always needs. It's a very helpful business for a lot of people. And in the world of energy, the best way to do it is to be as clean as possible. Although Rev, our main product, is a hybrid technology, we offer a diesel, propane, or natural gas solution. We also offer a solar and battery storage solution as well.
Wow, thank you so much. So you're building a company that could fundamentally change how temporary and also remote power is delivered. So what experience in your life led you to this mission?
Yeah, I grew up here in Austin, Texas. And my first year of university, I went to Southwestern University in Georgetown. My second year, I wanted to do something different. So I moved to Tokyo, Japan, and I started playing badminton for a team over there. My career was pretty short, but I had a lot of fun time, and I fell in love with how Japanese energy structures are. I was interested in Tokyo Gas, Next Energy, and other Japanese companies and how to do energy storage. And with that in mind, I moved back to the US and I finished my college at Southwestern University, and I started working for a company called Yada Energy. So Yada Energy does power for rooftops. They're battery systems that support commercial rooftops. And there we came up with a system called Rev for more remote power needs. So I took over that system and spun the product out as its own company. And here we are today developing the forefront of energy storage.
Thank you so much. So why now? Why not in 3 years from now? Or why not in 5 years? Why is Rev important today?
Yeah. So I think a few years ago, the energy market was definitely big, but there wasn't immense demand consistently that's predictable. And 10 years from now, there will be a lot of solutions for power, a lot more infrastructure for power, especially in these remote areas for these data centers. But today, a gap between short-term and long-term power, and we want to bridge that gap. There's a need for these medium-term power solutions because of the rise of AI, because of energy instability, because of all the conflict in the world. There's a lot of need for these rapidly deployable energy storage solutions.
So you would say that your company specializes in temporary, rapidly deployed energy sources at areas that might be remote for a specific infrastructure.
Yes, that's a perfect understanding.
Now, every founder reaches a moment where reality hits. What has been the hardest part of building Revco Energy so far?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think as a CEO, my goal is to be as unrealistic as possible. And it's my team's job to bring me down to earth and tell me what's realistic. But I think one of the most difficult things is finding people for the team that will only bring things down when they have to be brought down. Nobody becomes a billion-dollar company by being realistic. So finding a team that fuels my ambition, but also makes sure that we succeed properly has been probably the most challenging part of building my company.
Thank you. So you would say you are a realistic dreamer that thinks outside the box, but needs to also have a team of people who welcome that dream, but also keep you grounded.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. So now looking back, what has been the biggest lesson entrepreneurship has already taught you?
Great question. I think that some of the important things that entrepreneurship teaches me, it's okay to not know the answer to everything. I used to always think that if I didn't know the answer to something, I was weaker or I was wrong. But now I'm learning that when I don't have the answer to something, it's an opportunity to learn, and it's an opportunity to be better than who I was before.
Every successful startup eventually discover its growth engine. So I'd like to know a little bit more about yours. Who is Revco Energy's ideal customer today?
Yeah, I think the easy way to put it is anyone that needs short-term power. You can think of military bases, construction sites, and data centers. So today we're targeting specifically data centers and also targeting festivals and construction sites because these are people that go through diesel generators and short-term power solutions very quickly that we can offer a solution in.
Very nice. And what about emergency response team?
We plan to expand to emergency response. That takes a little more infrastructure because our units need to be on standby constantly for these emergency response situations. But the goal is to work up to have a solid solution for them as well.
How do those customers typically discover you?
Yeah, so far we've been doing everything by word of mouth and through our previous customers. Slowly we're expanding into hiring a in-house sales team and a business development team. But so far it's been me that's been finding potential customers and talking to them, and actually understanding their problem so we can offer a solution.
Thank you so much. Now, customer acquisition is often the biggest challenge for early stage companies. How do you currently generate opportunities?
So far, I think referrals has been the best. We have a really strong customer success story with our first pilot customer, and they've referred us to a lot of their peers, and we've worked basically from there. And once that slows down, I plan to expand our team to do more in that space.
Thank you. And your first pilot customer was in which area, which field?
Yeah. So our first pilot customer is Polaris. They're a Fortune 500 company in the Michigan Upper Peninsula. And we deployed right there in the Michigan Upper Peninsula to power their electric ATVs. So to deploy on their land and to support their charging systems.
Thank you so much. Then this leads me to another question. Where do you believe the biggest opportunities still exist based on your technology?
Yeah. There, I think our number one target is deploying these short-term power systems with the defense, with the military, because data has become such an important part of military response and defense response that powering them through unreliable diesel generators just isn't an answer anymore.
Mm.
I think that the future of this business is providing the government with reliable, clean power that gives you access to traditional systems as well.
Thank you. Now let's qualify and quantify growth for your business. If Revco Energy successfully achieve the milestone you've set for the next 24 months, approximately what would be the representation in annual recovering revenue?
Yeah, our 18-month figure is to reach $15 million in recurring revenue, annual recurring revenue. And that's why we're raising our seed round to reach that number, basically.
Thank you. And what is the single biggest obstacle that preventing you from getting there?
The easy answer is saying capital. We're about to raise money. We're basically cleaning up our tables and our charts, and we're going to go and meet investors and raise capital over the next few weeks. But right now, the biggest obstacle is getting investor ready.
Okay, investor ready. And how do you think capital allocation is being raised? What is the challenge that you're having to reach that capital allocation?
Yeah, I actually haven't really had too much of a challenge. Every angel we've met so far has given us positive feedback and written a few checks as well. So this is definitely a happening space. It's not to say that it's easy to raise money, but energy is a very hot topic right now, and we are providing a really good solution. So we've had good success with investors.
That's good. Now, the profit, when you generate profit, will it be reinvested into manufacturing or energy or perhaps sales or technology or even geographic expansion or
Yeah.
inventory?
We have a relatively good margin and we're planning on deploying more units with every dollar we make. The goal is to basically have a consistent customer pipeline and all capital is pushing towards that.
Very good. Thank you. Which investment do you believe will generate the greatest long-term return between all that?
I think investing back into making sure our products are the best in the market is what's going to make a difference. The two things in energy that set people apart is relationships and a good product. And we have good relationships and we have a good product, but we just need to keep improving both.
Thank you so much. Now, imagine someone invests 25 million in Revco Energy today. How would you deploy this capital and what would be a priority be during the first 12 months?
Yeah, 25 million. The capital allocation right now is being pushed towards team development and product development. Right now, we have a solution that no one else has, but 6 months down the line, that's not going to be the case. And we want to keep staying ahead of the competition by designing and deploying more innovative energy solutions. Right now, all our energy and capital is going into making sure our units are as modernized and ruggedized as possible and making sure that our team is the best in the market.
Thank you so much. You just mentioned something very important. You mentioned that you have a uniqueness in the business, but obviously, the more you get to be known, the faster other competitors will see the need to imitate you or to outgrow you. How do you keep that competitive advantage?
Yeah, there's two main things that set you apart. The first thing is pretty obvious is having a good product. And what ends up happening is down the line, a lot of people have good products. The second thing is relationships, both with the customers and with investors. And maintaining that is what really sets people apart in this space. I've been working hard to make sure I have solid relationships with my investors and my customers. And I plan to continue growing that so we become a household name and a solution that doesn't have anyone to compete with.
Thank you. Therefore, which one of the field would it be the military or the government that would allow you to have that type of monopoly?
Definitely. I think defense is the space that I want to monopolize.
Thank you so much. Now, every startup eventually reach a point where the demand exceeds capacity. Your sales pipeline, what could it deliver?
Because of the way that we've developed our team and developed our unit systems. We have good relationships with our manufacturers and our suppliers, and we have continued growth built into the pipeline. So as long as we grow consistently, and even if we blow up over the next few weeks instead of the next few days, we'll be able to handle that.
Thank you so much. Now, where would you see the biggest bottleneck when it comes to Revco Energy? Would it be in manufacturing or supply chain or hiring, perhaps capital or engineering or deployment? Which one?
Yeah, manufacturing is definitely the biggest bottleneck. These are big, heavy units that take a few days or a few weeks to deploy and design. So having that become as efficient as possible has been my goal since day one and also been the biggest problem since day one.
Thank you. Therefore, how would they be optimized for military when they need to be able to up and go at any time?
Yeah, so that's the beauty of our product. Once it's manufactured, it's all containerized and you can just throw it off a back of a truck. So the military itself has no operational downtime when deploying our units. The only difficulty right now is making sure that it's even faster for us to build for competing with the demand.
Thank you so much. Therefore, you would say the demand is there, but there's also simply the staff to compete with that demand and supply that demand that might be a challenge for now if your companies were to, as you say, blow up and get bigger within the next 18 months.
Definitely, yeah.
And what challenge inside the Revco Energy is slowing the growth of your company today, but that customers never see?
We're fortunate in the sense that there is nothing stopping growth. We've been growing very consistently and week over week have milestones that honestly blow me out of the water. But I think if I was to be critical, I would want to say that There are some efficiencies in terms of customer development and customer relationships that I need to improve to make sure that it's an easier pipeline for me.
Thank you so much. Technology is rapidly changing the way we see the world, and especially companies when it comes to scaling. Let's talk about AI for a moment. AI, automation, and the future of AI. So, as a technology founder, how do you see AI changing the clean energy industry over the next 5 years?
Yeah, there's two main ways that I've thought about this. One, as a user. As a user, AI has been such an impact for the energy market because it's such an antiquated industry that any person innovating in the space stands out. So there's a lot of AI solutions for software management, energy management, power distribution, even system design that has made a big difference in the space. And the second thing, as a energy supplier provider, there's now a lot more demand for. I've seen that some energy companies are leaving neighborhoods to completely just power data centers. There's a lot of unique changes and unique problems that come with AI, but at the end of the day, all of AI needs energy. So I'm happy to be the one selling the shovel during the gold rush.
This is nice to hear. Now, if AI could solve three major problems inside Revco over the next year, which three would create the greatest impact? Would it be customer acquisition, if AI could solve that, or proposal generating, or engineering, or operation? Which one would it be?
Yeah, so far I think I've optimized our company in a way that we are using AI whenever and wherever we need it. I'm a pretty young founder, but I also understand that who doesn't use whatever is cutting edge will be left behind. So wherever we can use AI, we are using AI. And wherever human touch is still needed, that's where we have humans doing human jobs. There's definitely a value to AI right now in our company, but I think we're using it to its full extent, at least for now.
Thank you. How would you say you use AI when it comes to customer or angel investing or customer acquisition?
Yeah. Apart from the conversations that I have with my customers and my investors, everything else is taken with AI. Our CRM system is something I built out through our Claude, and we have a message management system again through Claude, and I manage all my contacts and my customer relationship with that as well.
Very good. Thank you. So when evaluating new technology, what has to happen before you say, yes, this is worth investing in when it
Yeah.
comes to your business?
I think that I can pay a lot of money to get something that will make me a lot of money. I don't see the value in holding back in that space. Again, I know like OpenEye has really good customer acquisition, but then again, this is a system that's been working for me. To change it, it would have to be some sort of proof before I commit.
So if success could be measured by revenue growth or maybe faster deployment, lower operating costs, better customer experience, even fundraising and faster decision making, what would it be measured for you?
Yeah, I think number of sales is the easiest way.
So how has building Revco changed you personally, though?
Yeah, I think that's a much deeper question. There's a lot in terms of personal growth that has come through me being, but I think the main thing is to be attached to the work and not the result.
Okay.
Before I began, I identified with a lot of the results of what I was doing. But now, as a founder, I understand that most of the time the results will happen regardless. As long as I'm dedicated to my and my passion and my team, the results will happen without any fret. So I think the biggest thing is understanding to not identify with the results of the outcomes and focus on my duty.
I very much like that. Now let's flip it around. When employees eventually describe what it is like to work with Kirtan, what do they say?
Yeah. I'm infamously or famously the youngest and least experienced person at my company. I made sure to hire people that fill my weaknesses,
Yeah.
and I want to surround myself with people that are vastly more intelligent than I am. And I think they would describe me as being someone that facilitates their growth and facilitates whatever they need to do to make sure we're a successful company. At the end of the day, I'm the one that's the face of the company, but they're the brains and they're the brawn. So I make sure they have the facilities to do what they need to do to make sure we're winning. And I give them a lot of freedom. I think that a lot of founders want to be a little more controlling, but I understand that these are experienced employees. They've built in the space for a long time. So I let them do their job and I focus on the more big picture goals.
Thank you.
I,
Now imagine you're sitting here, let's say 25 years from now. You've accomplished what you wanted. Revco has become everything you hoped for. Now, looking back, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
yeah. I think that looking back is a very dangerous thing. I think that if I focus on that, I will do something that I might think is right, but it's not actually right for the company. That being said, I do dream. I'm definitely a dreamer. And I think that one of the things that I want to have established is a company that's providing jobs for many people, and a solution that is giving power wherever the sun shines. I want to offer power. I don't want power to be a luxury. It should be a necessity, and I want everyone to have access to it.
Thank you so much. Harvesting the power while helping individual, whether they are your staff member or even individual who do not have access to that kind of power, to be able to thrive and grow.
Definitely, yes.
Let's just ask one last question when it comes to customer acquisition. How many customer would you have to have in the next 18 months or clients with what kind of growth when it comes to dollar figures be the customer acquisition rate in which you would want to see your business grow?
Yeah. I personally can bring in one customer a month very easily. Any expansion on that would be amazing.
Now, let's do a lightning round as we are coming to the end of this interview. One word that describes you, favorite book.
I think one word that describes me is optimistic, always happy to look at the bright side. And my favorite book, right now I'm reading a book called Big Bang and the Sages, which is talking about both spirituality and also science and how they interact and intersect with each other.
Oh, that's actually profound. I like that. The biggest lesson that you've learned as a leader.
Identifying with the results is the number one way to fail. So put your head down and do your duty, and the results will come.
I like that as well. Thank you so much. Most underrated business skill do you think is needed?
Being able to represent your thoughts as clean as possible. I think that's the best way to move as a founder or as any kind of entrepreneur is if you can't articulate what you're thinking, no one will ever know what you're asking.
100%. Now, something a little bit lighter. Coffee or tea?
Neither. I don't drink coffee or tea. I enjoy matcha though, but I try not to drink too many things other than water.
Beautiful. Morning or night?
I'm definitely a night owl.
Okay.
And, I know it's a bad habit, but that's how I am.
That favorite productivity habit?
I think listening to music, my brain needs a lot of things to do at the same time to feel engaged. So if I'm not listening to music and I'm working, I'll want to check my phone or look at Instagram or something. But if I'm listening to music, I can be 100% focused on my work.
What's your favorite music artist?
Music artist. I love Justin Bieber. I think he's underrated. I
He
grew
is.
up during the Bieber fever time, but his versatility is crazy. I mean, he has his pop songs, his R&B, so I
Yeah.
like him.
The one piece of advice that every entrepreneur under 30 would need to have.
Yeah, I'll humbly share what I can. I think that understanding that everyone has some value that they can give from you, no matter how uneducated they may seem or mean-spirited, there's something you can learn from everyone.
This is amazing. Just the openness that you have and the humility that you have such a young age, but yet it's a wealth of knowledge. Kirtan, thank you for sharing your journey. One thing became very clear today. Revco isn't simply about building portable energy system, your rethinking of how power is being delivered anywhere is needed. That kind of thinking requires vision, requires courage, resiliency, and willingness to change industries that have operated the same way for so many decades. So thank you for allowing us to uncover your blueprint, your growth blueprint, and for everyone watching. Great companies didn't just begin by a product. They began by founders like yourself who refuse to accept that this is just the way it is and it's always been. Thank you for joining Amplified Leaders up until next time.
Great. Thank you so much.